The witnesses at today's hearing on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are there. We're waiting for this hearing to get underway. There's the chairman of the committee, Mr. Neugebauer.
I would remind all members that their entire written statement will be made a part of the record. Also ask unanimous consent that Mr. Garrett and Mr. Miller be allowed to sit in with this committee. They're not a member of this committee, but a member of the Financial Services Committee as well. If there's no objection, then so ordered. We'll start with opening statements, and I'll begin. This hearing is really about, I think, three things. One is, stopping any wasteful spending that might be going on in the enterprises, because about 3 years ago and about $170 billion ago, the American taxpayers inherited the opportunity to own two mortgage companies. And they weren't willing investors. And so one of the things that we want to make sure is that we are being good stewards of their money and their investment. And more importantly, in the future of making sure that down the road that we get the taxpayers out of the mortgage business and so that they're not on the hook. The second thing is a part of that is, what's going on within the enterprises to begin to shrink the footprint that these two enterprises have, because as long as these enterprises, along with the FHA, dominate the mortgage market, it's going to be extremely difficult to bring private capital back into the mortgage market. And so, in fact, today the American taxpayers basically dominate, are on the hook for almost every mortgage that's originated in this country. And quite honestly, I think the American people find that an area that they're not very interested in. I think the third thing, too, is what kinds of things are going on corporately within the entities that would begin to shrink that footprint so that we do create the space that need. But more importantly, looking at forward towards an exit strategy, because long term, I think it's been indicated by both the administration and other members of Congress that we don't think it's in the best interest for the American taxpayers long term to be in this business. So I think when we're going to hear testimony today from the two CEOs as well as their conservator about what's going on inside the entities. There are some troubling things that have surfaced, and we want to have an opportunity to discuss that. Expenses that some people feel are extravagant. Some people feel like that at this time where these entities are bleeding and losing money and having to have infusions by the American taxpayers, that there ought to be a very frugal attitude within the enterprises. Also, I think we want to learn more about the relationship between the conservator and the two entities and how that interaction is taking place and the coordination. And more importantly, what kinds of plans and measures are in place that we begin to ascertain if we are in fact making progress in this area. So I think this is a very important hearing for the American taxpayers, and I look forward to hearing from the witnesses on their various testimonies. And I appreciate their coming today. With that, I would now yield to the ranking member, Mr. Capiano.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the gentleman for being here today and enlightening